Woo! Hello, hi, hello, how's it going? How's everyone doing? Okay, so far? Good? Alright, my name is Shane Langan, and as well as being a comedian, as you've heard there, I'm also a novelist. And what I'd like to do for you guys this evening is just kind of present to you little snippets from my 3 novels. I don't mean misleading. I haven't finished 3 novels. I've started 3 novels, and I'd like to read you a little bit from the little bits that I've started on these 3 novels. They form a trilogy called the Tainted Trilogy, and it all started with this one. This is the first of my Tainted Trilogy. It's called Tainted Milk, and basically it's sort of a sci-fi adventure, sort of a spy romance, sort of a semi-autobiographical. A few of my favourite recipes. Novel, and basically it's about a journalist who uncovers a government plot to control the population using infected milk supplies. So topical as well. And just before I read you a little bit, I just want to say that I should note on this beforehand. When I originally started writing this book, I had originally intended it to be sort of a bleak, uncompromising view of the future, sort of a la 1984 or Blade Runner. But unfortunately, having spent so long working on the book without making any real inroads into it, it's now unfortunately set later this year. It's lost a little bit of its future punch, but we won't dwell on that. So this is just a little excerpt from chapter 1 of Tainted Milk. Thank you. The replicant assassin stepped through the lunchtime rush and right up to Garrison's table. You the journalist who wrote the expose on the infected milk supplies? Garrison eyed the replicant steelily. He knew it was a rhetorical question. That's the only type of questions robots ask. Garrison had no choice. There's a quick note there. That sentence there, Garrison had no choice. The word "no" there is actually spelled K-N-O-W. And I know you think, Shane, that's misspelling. But it's not, actually, because while Garrison had no choice, he also knew he had no choice. Play on words. Garrison had no choice. It was either go quietly to certain death or risk the lives of everyone in the small cafe by trying to shoot his way out. And even though the government had already risked each and every one of these people's lives already with the contaminated milk supplies by giving it to them in the first place without a care for their safety, he wasn't willing to do that. That would make him as bad as them. And he wasn't. He was better than them. Much better. They were far below his level. He turned to Sandra, half replicant, half the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, and kissed her softly on her human side. I have to go, my sweet, he breathed into her ear. No! She protested passionately. Shh! This is what true love really means. I love you, John Garrison. I always will. They embraced boldly and tenderly and let their passions unfurl right there in the cafe. Garrison's soft, strong arms entwined with Sandra's and their necks aligned as if they'd been designed to do so, slotting alongside each other like yin and yang, human and half-human, hero and woman. Thank you very much. That's it's Tainted Milk there. After Tainted Milk, I kind of felt like I needed to up the suspense, and so after that, for the next one, I wrote actually a prequel set in Los Angeles in 1989, and it's a thriller set on Christmas Eve in a huge multinational Japanese company's building where there's a terrorist attack. And it's called Tainted Nog, and this is a little mock-up I did of the cover there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but as a picture of a Santa Claus has been impaled by an AK-47 assault rifle, and I think that says an awful lot about the kind of bastard we're dealing with here, because you see that he's approached him from behind, so that suggests lack of morals. Didn't give him a chance, and he had the chance to shoot him, which would have been quick and painless, but he chose to impale him with the gun, so that suggests that he's cruel. So this is just a little excerpt from Tainted Nog, and it's an exciting chapter 17. Garrison removed his vest and fashioned a makeshift bra for Sandra. Here, he said, fastening and tightening it with the skilled light touch of a well-seasoned seamstress or lover. This'll keep your breasts warm. His blood-stained torso glistened under the Christmas lights. The upper reaches of the 40-foot Christmas tree provided ample cover, while also affording Garrison a bird's-eye view of the entire Karamushi Plaza's lobby. From this vantage point, John Garrison could see all 340 terrorists and the 8 hostages they held captive. I'll be back in a second, he reassured Sandra with the warmth of a well-seasoned doctor or lover. Swinging gracefully from branch to branch, giant bauble to bauble, he settled just out of earshot of Sandra. You still there, buddy? He whispered hopefully into his stolen police radio. You bet I am, came back the comforting voice of Lieutenant Brown. You think I'd miss this fireworks display? There was no fireworks display planned for that evening. It was just a turn of phrase. Heh, heh, heh. Chuckled Garrison, genuinely enjoying the banter. I'm genuinely enjoying the banter. But I don't have much time. I'm holed up here on the top of the lobby Christmas tree. Sounds good, interrupted Brown, keen to remain involved in the conversation. I don't want to worry her, but Sandra's having a semi-serious allergic reaction to the pine needles of the tree. Jesus Christ, interrupted Brown again. I know, sighed Garrison. She's swelling up like a stuffed turkey on Christmas Day, which is tomorrow. If I don't get her to a GP within the next few hours or so, or by tomorrow afternoon at the latest, she may be left with permanent scarring. Garrison didn't mention it to Brown, but it was this swelling that had led to Sandra's bra not fitting her anymore. You know, when all this is over, John Garrison, I want to buy you a beer, said Lieutenant Brown, earnestly but manly. No way, said Garrison curtly, in a way that shocked Brown. Had he done something to offend him? I gave up drinking a long time ago. How about a coffee instead? The sound of Garrison and Brown chuckling at this gag must have been enough to alert the terrorists to his location. Merry Christmas, John Garrison. German. Rasped the familiar voice of Fritz Heinrichsen, and Garrison felt a gun nozzle digging into his neck. This is turning out to be one of the best Christmas Eves ever, growled Garrison defiantly. He was being sarcastic, though. It was almost certainly one of the worst. Thank you very much. So that was two out of three of the trilogy, and when you get to that point, you kind of feel obliged to write the concluding part. And so when I was a child, I always enjoyed those. I don't know if you guys did the choose your own adventure novels, where you get to choose your own adventure. And so I thought the last one would be good if I let you choose the adventure. And so I wrote a Tainted Outcome. Kind of backed myself into a corner with the titles, but so the tagline there is, no one said being an investigative journalist specialising in the dairy industry was going to be easy. And so like a guy there, and there's your face here, so you're in the adventure. So what I'd like to do is just go on a little test run of this, if I may. So I might just pick somebody in the front row here. Hello, sir. What's your name?
Graham.
Graham. It's a nice loud voice there. Graham, that's good. You're going to be the test subject, if that's okay. So you
need to consult my solicitor.
No, absolutely not. No, we'll consult each other and we'll decide what the best way to go is on this. So we'll start off. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. So this starts off with a preface, and it says, "Beware and warning! This book is different from other books. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. There will be danger, decisions, intrigue, choices, adventures, alternatives, disasters, options, victories, and choices again. Your actions will have consequences, and what you determine to be the best outcome, of course, will lead you to one of literally thousands of tainted outcomes. Your first decision comes right now. Do you read on and risk all? Life or death? Glory or defeat? Safety or potential paper cut? One of the ideas I had for the book was that for pages that contained particularly dangerous storylines, I would have it printed on coarser paper. So the apparent danger within the story would be reflected in the actual danger of reading. It's just an idea. Or do you play it safe and read something a little bit more traditional? A book that's already planned out? Who wants to read something that's written by somebody else? Who cares what F. Scott Fitzgerald thinks should happen? The choice, reader, is yours.
Danger.
No, wait. I do admire your enthusiasm, though. If you wish to read this book, turn to page 1. If you have already lost interest, turn to page 205 for a selection of other titles. What do you think?
Let's go.
Let's go, page 1, okay. All right, page 1. You are on work experience in Dairy Tales, Ireland's premier milk, cheese and butter quarterly. You have just arrived at the office and have yet to be assigned your work for the day. The staff seem tense. What's going on? You ask an old photographer. The editor and John Garrison are having a blowout, he says. Back to you, to the question that you asked him. You can see through the smoked glass of the editor's office that a blazing row is in full flow. Having missed breakfast, you feel slightly hungry. You look down and see a packet of Jaffa cakes on the desk beside you. There is also a banana on the other desk. If you want to eat the banana, turn to page 77. If you want to try a Jaffa cake instead, turn to page 4. Graham, what do you think?
I have a banana.
But okay. Can I make a suggestion?
Is this my story or yours?
I'm your guide, and we're going to help each other out here, aren't we? Oh, my joking, it doesn't matter. We'll go to page 77. Banana then, yeah? Bit of potassium. It'll help us out through the row. Okay, 77, okay. You take the banana and begin to eat it. You suddenly hear a shout. Hey, that's my banana! You turn and see an angry-looking secretary. How dare you eat someone else's food? What the hell were you thinking? I think it's best if you go home now. You're fired. Disappointed and not completely sure why you decided to eat somebody else's food off their desk, you go home and think about what you did. The end. We try page 4. We try the Jaffa cakes instead. Try the Jaffa cakes instead, I think. See? Should listen to me. We'll go for the Jaffa cakes, okay. You take a Jaffa cake. It's tasty. You love Jaffa cakes. Suddenly, the editor's door swings open and out strides John Garrison. You recognise him from his photo above his byline. He strides up to you. Hey, Pipsqueak, you're sitting on my desk. His face suddenly turns sour. What's that in your mouth? Is it one of my Jaffa cakes? Garrison pulls a large gun from the small holster in his inner thigh and points it square at your face. If you want to come clean and admit that you did indeed eat one of his Jaffa cakes, turn to page 7. If you want to lie and tell him that it was a Jaffa cake that you brought yourself from home, turn to page 6. Graham, what do we think? Lie or honesty? This is the reason why I picked one person.
I'll challenge him to a duel and say...
No.
Honest, everybody.
You want to stay honest. Good man. Okay, come clean, page 7. Yes, I'm afraid it is, you say. I miss breakfast. He looks deeply into your eyes and smiles. Okay, it's a good job you didn't lie because I would have shot you in the face without a moment's hesitation. Anyway, kid, what's your name? You reply by saying...
Graham.
Garrison tells you that that was his grandmother's name. And that you remind him of her. Come on, kid, I've got a government to bring down. You want to come with me? If you want to accompany John Garrison on his mission of danger and adventure, turn to page 10. Or if you prefer to stay in the office and do some filing, turn to page 13.
Hell yeah, accompany him.
Wait.
I'll accompany him.
You'll accompany him. Can I make a suggestion at this point? Graham. Now, we all love adventure. But this is your first day on work experience, right? Presumably you'll need a form signed. John Garrison clearly isn't, popular with the boss. So would it be better at this stage, now stop me if I'm wrong, would it be better if at this stage we just did a little bit of filing and see where that goes, just to get in the good books?
No. Is that not manipulation?
It's a comedy act. Which I planned. Yeah, good. Let's do some filing. Okay, 13, page 13. Now we're starting to understand each other. Garrison leaves and speeds off on his exciting sounding motorcycle. You sit down, sigh, and begin filling subscription applications for the magazine. You ask the secretary if it's okay if you bring a coffee from the kitchen and drink it at the desk while you file. She says that usually staff aren't allowed to bring hot beverages to their desks, but that she doesn't mind as long as you don't let the editor see it. She tells you a long and only intermittently interesting story about the reason behind the rule against bringing hot beverages to your desk. It involves a reporter scalding his hand slightly and being unable to type properly for a couple of hours. You nod politely, not really enjoying the story, but all the time knowing that the longer she talks, the less filing you have to do. You think about Garrison's offer to accompany him and briefly consider whether you'd made a mistake in not going. But you soon dismiss this and get back to your filing. Your job is to compile all the new subscription applications from the last month and put them in the correct folder. The folders are broken up into geographical regions and the applications are ordered alphabetically within each folder. The first application is from Miriam Gallagher in Douglas, County Cork. You put this application in the G section of the Cork folder. The second application is from Daniel Harrington from Longford Town. You put this in the H section of the Longford and Westmeath folder. The third application is from Philip O'Reilly in Dublin. You take the Dublin folder in your hand, but you're unsure as to whether to put it in the O or OR section. If you want to file Philip O'Reilly's application under O, maybe we're onto something there, Graham. Maybe we should have gone with him. I think, yeah, oh, sorry. We'll go to page 10. We'll go with Garrison. The dead end. Okay, page 10. You hop on the back of Garrison's exciting-looking motorcycle. You think to yourself, I wonder if it sounds as exciting as it looks. As he turns the ignition and starts the engine, you realise that it does. Garrison tosses you a helmet. If you want to put on the helmet, turn to page 11. If you don't want to put on the helmet, stop reading this book because you're an idiot. When it comes to motorcycle safety, there is no decision to be made. A healthy life is the biggest adventure. We'll put the helmet on. Page 11. We're putting the helmet on. You put the helmet on and speed off safely into the city. You arrive at the docks. Garrison points out a massive milk tanker that is leaving port. He says that the tanker is full of illegal milk and that it's being shipped illegally out of the country. Illegal milk, you ask? But he dismisses you as if he isn't quite sure himself what he meant. We have to stop that ship leaving port. What should we do? He asks you. If you want to suggest driving very fast down the pier, using the ramp on the back of a car transporting lorry that you notice parked at the end of the pier, do a flip in mid-air and land on the deck, turn to page 14. If you want to suggest stealing a motorboat, chasing the ship and using a whale's back as a ramp, flipping through the air and landing on deck, turn to page 16.
Oh my God, 16.
Yeah, the whale's back. That's good. Your plan worked. You land on deck safely and look around. It's vaguely unsatisfying. See what happens with the other one, maybe. Driving down the pier, use the ramp on the back of the transporter lorry, 14. Your plan worked. You land on deck safely and look around. You are immediately surrounded by 24 illegal milk traders. Judging by their posings and vocalizations, it is immediately clear that they are all experts in karate. What do we do, Garrison? You ask him. If you want Garrison to suggest surrendering, go to page 18. However, if you want Garrison to suggest fist fighting to certain death, go to page 19. What do you think?
Go surrender first. Surrender.
Yeah, see, I think that's right, because like it says certain death, so that's ridiculous. Surrendering, okay. Page 18. I think we should surrender, says Garrison, but winks ever so slightly as he tells you. You both raise your hands and tell the karate men that you surrender. They laugh at your cowardice and momentarily let down their karate hands. Garrison takes this opportunity to remove the very large gun from the very small holster under his armpit and begins shooting. He kills all the karate milkmen. You did good, kid. Do you want to continue helping me fight crime, file stories quarterly, and stem the flow of illegal milk from the east? Your eyes light up, but you soon look sad and disappointed. I'm sorry, John Garrison, I don't think I can. Why the hell not? He growls. Because I'm lactose intolerant. Garrison begins laughing heartily, and you soon join in. The two of you laugh all the way back into port. The end. Well done, Graham. Thank you very much.